Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here and we're coming to you from the wondrous region that is Hollowing as the heroes are hosting the Lumiose glitches. It will be the Delta types going up against the Electric types, and the Delta team is trying desperately to keep their season alive as they're currently sitting in 13th place, but to do so they definitely need this victory here today. But can they do it? Let us know in the comments below who you think will win. Will it be the Delta types? Will it be the Electric types? Let's go! Yeah, the Electric types have had a very back and forth season. 6 wins, 6 losses, but they are staying out with Ampharos and Rotom in its fan form. It will be Jolteon and Umbreon staying out for the Hollowing heroes, and immediately Jolteon is going to go with the Hydro Cannon. Gets a great hit there onto Ampharos, and Rotom is going to set up a substitute. It is going to cut into its own health, but that substitute will take its place on the field, which can be great for Rotom if it is taking the damage. Now we get the triple axle from Umbreon onto Ampharos. It looks like they're trying to get Ampharos off the field here, but that static ability has been activated, so Umbreon is paralyzed. It may be unable to move, but it'll also be slowed down, and Ampharos is able to hold on after that third hit from the triple axle. It is in knockout range though, and it is going to go with the Cotton Spore here. This is going to lower that speed of both Jolteon and Umbreon a great deal. Umbreon has already been slowed down, but Jolteon is such a speedy Pokemon. As the Scale Shot from Rotom, this multi-hit move will lower Rotom's defense, but it will boost its speed. It's got 3 on Jolteon here. It's got 4, and it only gets 4. I really thought it was going to get the 5th one there, but as I said, it will cut into its defense, but that substitute is still on the field, so it will not take any extra damage until that substitute has vanished. As the Mach Punch onto Umbreon from Ampharos, super effective, but Umbreon's able to tank that hit and responds with the Giga Drain, and Ampharos is eliminated. The Hollowing heroes are out to the early lead. Now Jolteon, although being slowed down, is still the quickest on the field, but it did have to recharge after that Hydro Cannon, as now out comes Iron Hands onto the field, and we get the Burning Jealousy from Rotom. Gets a good hit on Jolteon and Umbreon there, hitting both evolutions at the same time, and Jolteon is going to respond with the Baby Doll Eyes, but it will not affect Rotom here. And this opens the door for Iron Hands to go for the Darkest Lariat onto Umbreon. Not very effective. Umbreon tanking yet another hit, and it is going to respond with the Guard Split. It has been successful in shaking off that paralysis as it shares its guard with Iron Hands here, and now we get the Poison Jab from Rotom onto Jolteon, and Jolteon is eliminated from this matchup. The Electric types have taken out the Electric evolution, as we get the Seed Bomb from Iron Hands onto Umbreon. A good hit there on the Dark type evolution, who responds with the Misty Explosion. And it is super effective on Iron Hands, not that you would think with the amount of damage it did, and even though it was a critical hit on Rotom, it's the substitute that took the damage, so that substitute has faded, and now the Lumiose glitches have been handed the lead as Umbreon has eliminated itself from this matchup. Out in its place coming Espeon, and it will be joined by Ditto, who is immediately going to transform into Iron Hands with that Imposter ability, and it is the Terrestrial Pokemon for the Hollowing heroes, and it always takes on the typing of the opposing side, so it will take on the Electric typing here. So for the second time in this matchup, the Hollowing heroes have an Electric type Pokemon on the field, as it is now Ditto in the form of that Iron Hands. I'll try not to get it confused between the two, as the Trick Room is immediately set up by Rotom. This is going to reverse the speed order of all the Pokemon on the field, so the slowest Pokemon is now the quickest, and it is Iron Hands immediately going for the Grass Knot here onto Espeon. Doesn't do much damage there, and its fellow Iron Hands being Ditto going immediately for the final Gambit. Gets a really good hit on Iron Hands, but it is not enough, so Ditto has taken itself out of this matchup, and it was unsuccessful in taking out its fellow Iron Hands, as we get the Double Edge from Espeon. A great hit onto Rotom, but Rotom's still in this matchup, and Espeon does get the recoil damage as out comes Sylveon for the Hollowing heroes. Iron Hands still the quickest on the field, thanks to that Trick Room is going to go with the Quiver Dance, so it is going to boost its special attack. Now it is much more of a physical offensive Pokemon, but it also boosts its speed here, so it may not be the slowest Pokemon on the field anymore, which is a little confusing. But now we get the Spatial Rend onto Iron Hands from Sylveon. Not enough to eliminate though. Espeon looking to follow it up goes with the Terra Blast. and it takes out Rotom with that move. The Holon Heroes are still in this matchup. They're still at a 1 Pokemon disadvantage as out comes Electros for the Lumiose glitches, and immediately it does go for the Scale Shot. We saw this earlier, but it goes for Sylveon, who is immune to Dragon type attacks being a Fairy type Pokemon. Now we get the Earth Power from Sylveon, but it goes for Electros, who has that Levitate ability. It has no weaknesses. It's immune to Ground types, and the Payday onto Sylveon from Iron Hands gets a good hit as Espeon now with the Healing Wish. Espeon is going to take itself out of this matchup. That is the 3rd Pokemon for the Holon Heroes to eliminate themselves as out comes Leafeon onto the field, and now Electros going with the Endeavor, but that will fail. It won't affect Leafeon. It has too much health at the moment, and Sylveon capitalizing goes with the knockoff. Iron Hands is taken out of this matchup with the not very effective attack. There's still 3 Pokemon now remaining for the Lumiose glitches as that Leopard Berry was knocked off the now eliminated Iron Hands, and we get the minimize from Leafeon. It is going to boost its evasiveness here, which is really good because if it doesn't take any damage, it can't be eliminated. Now out comes Sandy Shocks for the Lumiose glitches as Electros going for a spatial rend of its own, but yet again going for Sylveon with a Dragon type move. Sylveon looking to capitalize, does go with the Fairy Wind. It gets the stab boost, going for Sandy Shocks there, gets a good hit, and Leafeon is going to follow it up with the Water Pledge. Super effective hit onto Sandy Shocks, capitalizing on that Park Ground type, and his Sandy Shocks responds with the Vacuum Wave, but Leafeon is able to avoid that attack as the Twisted Dimensions return to normal, so the Speed Order is back to its way, and the Earthquake will not affect Electros from Sandy Shocks. A really intelligent play, hitting both evolutions, gets a good hit there onto Sylveon. It's not very effective on Leafeon though, who does respond by setting up a Yawn onto Electros. Look for it to grow drowsy and fall asleep very soon. Now the Mega Punch onto Sandy Shocks. Sylveon has just leveled the playing field. It is now a 2 versus 2 match. And now the Zap Cannon though onto Sylveon. Electros immediately puts the Holon Heroes behind. The Lumiose glitches have just taken back the leaders. Out comes Bellybolt onto the field. Leafeon with the speed advantage is going to go for the Tail Whip, looking to lower the defenses of the Lumiose glitches Pokemon. Both Bellybolt and Electros having their physical defense stats lowered, but Electros does respond with the Liquidation onto Leafeon, taking yet another not very effective hit, and Bellybolt is going to follow it up by setting up the Electric Terrain, which is great for the Lumiose glitches. They are going to look to capitalize on this terrain being set up, being the electric types, as that current does run across the battlefield, but Electros has fallen asleep on the field, which is great for Leafeon. It only has to contend with 1 awake Pokemon, and it goes with the Will-O-Wisp, but it is going to fail, unfortunately. That Electric Terrain coming to play. Electros is fast asleep on the field, but Bellybolt is going to go with the False Swipe. Now this is not a shiny Leafeon, and it goes with the Heal Bell. That bell will chime, but unfortunately it is going to fail. There's no one there for it to help out, but Electros has awoken on the field, and it will go with the Leech Life. This is super effective. Leafeon is able to hold on, but Electros would have had its health restored, and the Sludge Wave follow-up from Bellybolt is going to be super effective on Leafeon, and Leafeon is eliminated, and the Lumiose glitches have won this matchup. This is fantastic for them as they get their 7th victory of the season, but unfortunately for the Delta types, they have lost their 8th game so far, and they will now be in 14th place as next round. They will be taking on the Cortondo Dustmites, whereas the Lumiose glitches next round will have a huge matchup against the Olivine Carbons next round, but until then, Nidorina is Nidorinos. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.